Timta. Abdur Koshai Wat Biwasamus Patimta. Greetings, everyone. I am Saset Tauret Ale, a white female of Anyanwea and Panamanian descent. Begin all things by first using the all. This is our 78th year, 16th month, 3rd day on our Yamassic calendar, which is April 9th, 2024 of the Gregorian calendar. From the desktop of Plenipotentiary of Earth and Chief Nanya Shaabu, registered copyright trademark of the At-sik-hata Nation of Yamassee Moors. This interview series with the Plenipotentiary of Earth and Chief Nanya Shaabu, registered copyright trademark of the At-sik-hata Nation of Yamassee Moors by the White Autochthons of White Work is brought to you courtesy of and not limited to the following so-called conscious podcasters and representatives of the so-called conscious and or Black community. Firstly, with honors, Bobby Hemmett, who did acknowledge Chief's lien on the White House. Beneath him lies Malefe Asante, PhD, and Clyde Ledbetter Jr., PhD. Both acknowledged our nation, At-sik-hata Nation of Yamassee Moors, in their book, Contemporary Critical Thought in Africology and Africana Studies. At-sik-hata Nation of Yamassee Moors is mentioned as one out of only 3 organizations of African descent out of 103 Universal Periodic Review submissions that were filed on the United States of America in 2010. Plenipotentiary of Earth and Chief Nanya Shaabu, registered copyright trademark of the At-sik-hata Nation of Yamassee Moors, has subsequently filed a UPR in 2019 on the United States of America. Both Universal Periodic Reviews are published on the United Nations website. 19 Keys, Riza Islam in California, Dom Luker, Philip Scott, Will Rattigan of YouTube channel Reason with Rattigan, who breached a contractual agreement to give Chief a 3 to 4 hour platform to discuss who we are as the dark-skinned people on the planet and the solution for us to call ourselves white. He got unreasonably rattled and cut Chief off from speaking by kicking him off the show twice within only an hour and 6 minutes. He had no solution to offer Black people and refused to keep his word to hear Chief's solution for Black people. Mutabaruka, who uploaded Chief's first interview with Reason with Rattigan and published it on his own YouTube channel. He created a thumbnail with a graphically imposed image of Chief with the words, "I am white," written above the plenipotentiary's head. And then Mutabaruka put his own image beside Chief to appear like he is standing with the plenipotentiary, but he never states he is white, nor does Mutabaruka claim that he is white in that video and has disabled the comments. Killer Mike, Black Magic 363, Rick Smith, a pale man who is the author of The Moor, the Mason, and the Alien, who revealed the body of Saint Isa is a dark man, misnomer Black man, and is in Jerusalem, which proves he was never pale. No one could go there to see the body without an invite from the Vatican. The Vatican has to stamp your passport to allow you to go there. Rick Smith, who has emailed and responded to Chief on Facebook and LinkedIn multiple times back and forth, said he respected Chief, but lives the life in the Matrix. Peter Moon, author of the Montauk Book of the Dead, who did not reply to Chief's emails, which was sent to him via his publisher. Roland Martin, Sherry Peel Jackson, who we had a Facebook conversation with on her page and her comments of her post. When we presented the solution of changing her race to white and doing the autochthon standing process to remove herself from being taxed by the IRS, she still refused to do the process. Joy Bulimweni of the Algorithmic Justice League, Mother America Publishing, Saw Neteru, Sabir Bey, Taj Tariq Bey, Nakeem Bey, Hakeem Bey, Queen Afua, Queen Valara, Rod Hayes, Rare Bird, Young Elder, Yusuf Allen Jonah Bey, who both tried to diss the SF-181, but now tell people, you got to do the SF-181. MSTA, Great Seal, Farrakhan, Chief sent a DM to him on Twitter, now called X. Farrakhan never responded. Don Nicoleone, Sabians, Nubians, Deuce York, Victoria Broussard, Attorney at Law, Adrian Patrick, Attorney at Law, Hebrew Israelites, Red Pill, Blue Pill, Sarah Sutanseti, who refused to show up for a scheduled live debate he agreed to with Chief in 2016. Professor Griff, who Chief left a voicemail with and he never returned his call. Dr. Cornell West, who agreed to endorse the SF-181, but then turned around and said he wanted to be like Jesus and endorse Bernie Sanders for president of the United States. Dr. David Imhotep, author of the book, The First Americans Were Africans. He was given the SF-181 by our associate, and he refused to be clear over the phone with Chief about whether he faxed it or not. Shahrazad Ali, author of The Black Man's Guide to Understanding the Black Woman and The Black Woman's Guide to Understanding the Black Man, who, when presented via email with the commercial fact that there are no Black racial groups of Africa, she threatened legal action if we mentioned her in association with our nation. Billy Carson, Karen Hudez Smith, Jesse Jackson, Al Sharpton, who recently solidified the commercial fact by stating that criminal activity is Black culture. In short, Black people are sinful, as the etymology of crime means sinfulness. The etymology of sin is to miss the mark, as in a game of archery. So, Black people have missed the mark of correctly self-identifying as white. Black people mark the white box on the SF-181. NAACP, National Action Network, NAAIP, Draconis Rex, Hellraiser, Brother Truth, Mon3 Adatmac, it or he or she who hops from hotel room to hotel room hustling the SF-181, choosing demon slit eyes, appealing to those who lack discernment. But I warned them via email not to fall for this con man hustler pilfering step one of our talk and standing process while charging $15 to $40 to do a free form. Isis Wisdom, Tiffany Israel, who came on our free webinar just to get the talk and standing process package instructions and then turned around and sold them to people. She added an extreme number of alternate pages to the SF-181 attachments that have no relevance, that contributed to the fax line to OMB being jammed for months with a busy signal. Chief had to find an alternative backup fax line for the white Autochtons to then use. Usar, Polite, Mark Keyshawn Christopher with his fraudulent quantum live life claim for those with a Black status was the impetus for why Chief now wears his namuz only. Chief attended a Zoom Mark held while wearing his namuz, and Mark signaled Chief out in a derogatory way to ask him, "Are you comfortable with that headgear upon your head?" Chief said yes, and Mark kicked him out of the Zoom meeting once he lost the battle to Chief's rebuttals. Global African Congress out of the United Kingdom, Russell Gould, Phil Valentine, who did call Chief but left a message that was not honorable enough to incline Chief to return his call. Panic out of New York, the Black conscious community, the Black occult community, the New Age community, the UFO community. Anu El Bay of the Amexa Moors, Dr. Ali Muhammad, and Yvonne Wrights. Chief emailed her directly with no response. Dr. Frances Cress Welsing, author of the ISIS Papers, had the SF-181 put in her hand by one of our associates and was asked, "Why are we still calling ourselves Black?" She squirmed in her chair all during her presentation at Howard University. She avoided this question, and she never came back to Howard University again after speaking there monthly. And then she died about 3 months later. Malik Shabazz, Chief was counsel for an indigenous Yamassee official for a court case in Dublin, Georgia, who happened to meet Malik Shabazz at an event in Atlanta and asked him to look over the court brief documents that he was going to use in court that Chief wrote for him. Malik Shabazz looked at the first page, stopped at the second page, handed the Sherlock's court documents back to him and said, "This is over my head." Chief also called and left a message with Malik Shabazz, but he never called back. Benjamin Crump was a keynote speaker at the Working Group of Experts for People of African Descent, and Chief was also present at that meeting. We noticed after the meeting that Ben Crump's ethnicity was white. Ben Crump knows Black has no standing at law, and that's why he changed his ethnicity and race to white. Chief did a 5-day comment number 167 about Ben Crump's race change to white. A week later, his race no longer showed white, but instead dashed lines. As of a few weeks ago, when searching the celebpie.com site where Chief saw Ben Crump's race as white and then dashes, that site is shut down, non-existent, can't be reached. Welcome to the real. Elihu Pleasant Bay, author of The Exhuming of a Nation, he acknowledged the lien on the White House, but didn't want to work with Chief. Alim Bey copied a conversation Chief had with a former member of our nation. Alim stole what our nation posted and then cut and pasted it to his own website as if he did it. Posthumous David Wynn Miller, whom Chief has spoken with directly over the phone. Posthumous regard to the late Kevin Samuels. White Autochthons, on Chief's direction, contacted him via email to tell him to stop calling himself Black due to the amount of haters, specifically Black women, who hated Kevin Samuels' show for revealing the truth about Black women's unreasonable demands, their delusion, and failure in their relationships. He continued to call himself Black. All the above claim to want to talk about topics others are afraid to talk about. When contacted about interviewing, discussing, listening, or working with Plenipotentiary of Earth and Chief Nanya Shaabu, registered copyright trademark of the At-sik-hata Nation, the Yamassee Moors, they all ignored Chief, stayed silent, or refused. So it is clear that those below Bobby Hemmett are not about freedom. They want to be exotic Negroes on the plantation. So white Autochthons are the only ones that can discuss topics Black people are afraid to talk about. And for this reason now, every Tuesday, white Autochthons will interview Plenipotentiary of Earth and Chief Nanya Shaabu, registered copyright trademark of the At-sik-hata Nation, the Yamassee Moors, and ask questions regarding current subjects and events that are happening and how it relates to indigenous white Autochthons. Abugador, white power. Solar eclipse, lunar eclipse, NIBIRU. North America witnessed an event yesterday that is worthy of our time and immediate attention to relish in. Our plenipotentiary was very busy yesterday. He was diligent since Saturday at 4:30 a.m. our time, doing 2 sets of Agnihotra healing fires. He also created itineraries for this event for each time zone and did invocations for the Eastern and Mountain time zones during the eclipse. The purpose of the Agnihotra healing fires and the Homa he also did was to gain the assistance of the Neteru, to not babysit us, but to assist us in protecting the entire planet from any disagreeable entities from coming into our realm via CERN's hydrogen collider that was looking for a God particle within this solar eclipse. It was a confusing time, an exciting time for some, and a cautionary event all at the same time. Once again, we look to our leader, Chief Nanya Shaabu, registered copyright trademark of the At-sik-hata Nation of Yamassee Moors, to tell us, what do we make of this event? To note, we did contemplate going to a 5,000-year-old solar temple during the eclipse, but Chief chose to stay and record the event in real time with all of the Autochthons. and everyone looking to begin his autochthon standing process due to the shared wonderment and caution experienced by many of you. We could all thank you, Chief, for choosing to hold your open Zoom meeting yesterday. When the government says, don't go outside to see the sun, it evokes questions, to say the least. It reminds us of the movie Don't Look Up. So for anyone who missed our Zoom meeting and hasn't seen it yet on Chief's other YouTube channel, Nanya Ale, tell us, Chief, what was up with the eclipse? I'm sure everybody wants to know. Someone to know why we were instructed to wear dark clothes. Let's start by finding out those answers now to these questions. I'll start with the dark clothes question, Chief, and then I have another. But before I begin, I want to thank you for being available today.
Much appreciated for you hosting today and for doing these questions every Tuesday. Obviously, we're the only ones who will talk about real stuff, and that's why we're doing this. So we don't have to wait on a social media influencer to want to interview me. They're mortals, so let's start calling a spade a spade. They're not going to talk about this. So this is the reason why we're having these meetings. So much appreciated for that. What I want to do first is I'll answer your question first about the dark colors. Then there's 3 videos in Telegram, so make sure your Telegram is open, because what I want to do is I want to play those videos first, and then we'll get into everyone's questions. And when everyone sees the videos that I just saw, they may have to enhance their questions or incorporate the information on those videos as it relates to the eclipse. So the reason why we wore the dark colors is we wore the dark colors for the main reason of absorbing the energy coming from the eclipse. Generally, I always say wear white. White, though, is a reflective color. But when you wear dark colors, that's an absorbing color. And since it's solar, right? Solar, we want to absorb whatever is transpiring with the eclipse yesterday. And that was the reason why when I was asked, well, what colors do we wear? I said, we're dark, all dark. And for those of you that did it, and I saw some of the videos of people wearing the dark colors, yes, you felt a big difference in wearing the dark colors. It didn't have to be dark. It could have been brown. It could have even been navy blue. However, you want a dark color to absorb the energy coming from that eclipse. And that's the reason why we wore it, because the sun is really, quote unquote, a dark sun. And so for that solar eclipse, this was that one time, that one moment where that energy would be shot, and we want to absorb that. That's why if those of you that looked were paying attention, what I was doing yesterday while I was doing the invocations, I was looking at the sun while I was doing the invocations. I was staring at the part. We just had a partial eclipse, but I was staring at that during the eclipse. And so that was to show that, okay, why are they telling people not to look at the sun? So that's why we wore the dark colors, to absorb all that energy.
I felt it. I definitely felt bathed in the sun. For sure. Thank you. So we needed to absorb it at its maximum, which
For me, I sent it directly from you to you. So if you,
Chief.
yeah, there should be 3 there.
Okay. So I'll start with
Not that one.
red pill.
Yeah, 1, 2. Yeah, so start off with that one.
This one, red bias, please.
Yeah, those 3 there.
Oh, what?
You have to switch your screen over.
Oh, okay, I see. Here it comes.
Yes.
These 7 foods create more
No,
inflammation,
not
more
that
disease.
one. The next one, the one
Okay.
after that. Yeah.
Oh, wait.
Really needed is something.
No, not
The
that
global
one.
chaos. What's really needed.
Wow.
Keep going. The
Oh,
next one, I
wow.
know what it is. They're messing around now. That's what it was like yesterday. They're all on x.com. Okay, we'll start with that one. Yep. Make it full size.
What's that?
I think this is someone's video.
Okay, we'll skip it. Next one. Nope. What is going on here?
Then looks like
No, it's not those.
at the
No,
church. So the last thing you sent, or the most recent,
no, it's not
something,
there. No.
is
Go to
Guadalupe
let me check your Telegram because I just saw them. I said, okay, great. I'll put these here. So not in Telegram. Let me see if it's here. Oh, okay. Go to At-sik-hata. And it'll be above the Lori Lightfoot. So you can do that one there. Oh yeah, that's a good one.
So this here.
Oh, wait.
What?
How does that happen? If the eclipse is right here,
Yeah.
then why is the moon over there? Oh, wait.
What?
How does that happen?
Because we're in the middle.
Look, the moon is right there in front of the sun,
Wait.
but the moon is over here. Why is the moon right there if it's supposed to be in front of the sun? Here, I'm using these right here.
That's insane.
Do you see that? If the moon is right there in front of the sun, then why is it over there?
I'm gonna Google that.
That can't be, or the flat, I don't know, or the flat earthers, right?
Maybe it is flat.
It's a conspiracy, dude.
We're all gonna be zombies now. We all took that courage. So this eclipse is gonna burst.
She said,
Okay, so
we're gonna be zombies now?
okay, so now go to your messenger.
Facebook Messenger?
Yeah, go to Facebook Messenger
Mm-hmm.
and go to should be under white work.
Oh. Chiefs White News Network. Mm-hmm.
Should be there we go. And go to where are you? Let me see your screen here.
See.
I can't see your screen.
Yeah, I'm about to change it now. Oh wait, that's that same one. So let's see.
The one underneath it. Yeah.
These three are the same.
No, there's underneath it. Okay, that's the link. Go up. Yeah, go up. Okay, underneath that. Nope. One, go down, go down, go down. That second one.
Looks the same. Well, let's see. Okay, the numbers are a little different.
About today and seeing, then we should be asking questions where it
Okay,
is.
back that up.
And you would think
Sure.
with all the moon is missing, which that's what we were all talking about today and seeing, then we should be asking questions where it is. And you would think with all the trust your science and scientific people out there we have, anybody asking? I mean, you would think people with these gigantic telescopes and all of these things that are sitting on all these high mountains, wouldn't they be asking questions and saying, you know, what's going on? Shouldn't we address this? Shouldn't we alert people that the moon is potentially missing for 6 hours during the day? Where is it? You know, I mean, it's crazy. And that's the thing is with our whole learning experience and what we're learning for the first 18 years of our life, we're just being programmed. You know, and we celebrate these days like Christopher Columbus Day every single year. It's a programming every single year. And then when you're out of school, you have this holiday to remember the nonsense that you were told in school. I mean, it's absolutely mind-blowing because then it just enforces that. It's like, oh, you remember Christopher Columbus? Oh yeah, we learned about him in school. 1492, Ocean Blue, came over in 3 ships. You know, all the same thing. And you can see how fast I can recall that because that's what's been programmed into my mind or into my subconscious mind. Because if we take it a step further, a lot of this programming happens on the subconscious mind. It's creating a reality for you not to ask what actually happened. Because if you tell somebody in 1492, somebody already came here with 3 ships, then you're not going to look into it because you already know that someone came here with 3 ships. But if you all of a sudden say, well, in 1492, when this supposed, guy came here, he found castles and all this advanced civilization and all this crazy information that's absolutely mind-blowing of free energy and all types of things, then that would change everything. That would change the whole perspective because then all of a sudden you go, wait, what? What do you mean they had free energy in 1492? What do you mean they understood how to use mercury to create a spin to get free energy? You know, that would change every single thing. And somebody said I honestly wouldn't have known if it was Columbus Day until someone on social media mentioned it. I still had to work unless it's the day off. I don't pay attention.
All right, so those were the 2 main videos that I wanted to play. So let's get now into the questions. So I've answered your first one. Is there another one you have?
Yes.
So Whitework can modify their questions based on now watching these 2 videos.
Okay, so yeah, our questions are geared around the eclipse. So I came across this video, wanted to know if you'd ever heard this before.
Let's talk about that because I don't want to lose this information. It's important to know, how does the Native American culture hold the solar eclipse in reverence?
The solar eclipse, it's any eclipse that we have, either it's a lunar or solar eclipse. It's a very, very sacred event that it's a very powerful thing to view. So because of that, we tell our children and our people not to be in the presence of that eclipse or to even take a sneak or be outside, because there are many different things that we cannot do during an eclipse. So because it's a very sacred event and it's very powerful, it does have its repercussions and it can affect the person either health-wise or mentally, and it can happen down the road, maybe a few years on down the road, it can affect them.
Let's talk about that because I don't want to lose this information. It's important to know how.
Okay, so have you ever heard that before, Chief, from
No.
the so-called Native community?
No, not familiar with that. I'm not familiar with that at all. I've never heard any indigenous saying not to be with it, do with an eclipse or do any kind of ritual on an eclipse. Never heard that.
So never at any of the sweat lodges or anything like that has that been
Sweat lodges
conversation.
well, the sweat lodges are usually done based on the lunar calendar. Full moon, new moon, that's when the sweat lodges would be done. Nothing, I've never heard anything about not participating or being outside during a solar eclipse.
So why do you think he's saying this?
You want the truth from me, or
Of course.
ask?
Truthfully.
Because not because they're not the first people on the planet. That's why. Think about it. Solar equals sun eclipse. And so they're telling their children and elders, and it's overstood when an eclipse of that nature occurs, to stay indoors. It's a very powerful event. It can have repercussions. What I did was I did a healing fire before the partial eclipse. During the partial eclipse, for those that saw the video, I was doing the Homa. So I was chanting and adding ghee and chanting. So I was, getting that energy. Is not the same as the Agnihotra sunrise and sunset. It was a Homa, which is more of a chant, but the chanting does have qualities. It does have positive qualities to it. So this was the reason why when we did the eclipse, we're wearing dark, we're absorbing all of that energy. Plus I'm doing two healing fires before the event, one for the East Coast, because there's no one else in At-sik-hata that has an Agnihotra pyramid, and then one for us because we're here in the Mountain Standard. So we got those time zones as well as Central covered. So I've never heard that. All I can say is that anyone who can't be underneath the sun wasn't meant to be on the planet.
I get that. I didn't think about that part of it. I thought it was like in support of what the government was saying. Don't go outside. Like he was paid to repeat that, and then people would think, oh, well, it's true. Then we shouldn't do it if the indigenous aren't going out there.
Well, it's the same way they said don't look at an eclipse, but I saw in the news people were out yesterday. Some people had the glasses on, other people had their cell phone looking up at the eclipse. So I was like, well, why are they telling people not to look at the eclipse? And again, it's the energy that's being shot down there.
Well, it's like I was starting to ask in that clip you wanted to share was the woman at the end said, oh, so now we're going to be zombies. And I think that's because they were looking through the glasses. I think that was part of it.
Oh, because the moon was missing. And when I saw the video maybe an hour or so ago, I said, what? I said, no wonder something felt strange. Because after the eclipse, you should still see the aspect of the moon coming out of the eclipse. We didn't see that. And since Alex Collier said Nibiru and the 19th galaxy is not moving, it's stationary, that means that was Nibiru, because that other video where the guy said, look, the moon's over here. What is causing the eclipse if the moon is over here? And of course, and what did I say all day today? I said, how come I'm not hearing a lot of buzz and activity over the solar eclipse from yesterday? Haven't heard anything from CERN. Haven't heard anything about NASA. Haven't heard anything about, let's see, with CERN, NASA. Haven't heard anything about the, there was the rockets was NASA, CERN, and haven't heard anything about, well, what happened. They said they were supposed to be, remember they said, oh, there's going to be some kind of terrorist attack or something. Yesterday they were telling people have water, keep topping your tank up with gasoline. And so the guy said, all this for a solar eclipse? What's going on?
Yes. Very interesting. So I appreciate that. We're gonna go to Sasha next. So I'm just queuing up her video. Sasha, thank you for being here.
Greetings.
Greetings. I know you were having some difficulty with your, oh, here you are on this one.
Yeah, I'm on two. The other
Okay.
one does my computer's video is messing up, so I've got my phone here.
All right, so let me go ahead and share screen.
Go back centuries.
Well, reporter Mark.
Now, with all the excitement surrounding the eclipse, there are also some superstitions, and these beliefs go back centuries.
Well, reporter Marco Ramirez spoke to a spiritual expert to learn more about the superstitions and just how common they are.
They do have a strong connection with the solar eclipse, but most of it seems to be more like a fear factor.
Jody Blackburn has done countless spiritual readings for people across the valley and the world since 1979. He says throughout the decades, people have come to him to prepare for an eclipse, specifically for pregnant women.
In some cases, because I've read for other people in other countries, you know, sometimes they won't even cook certain at certain times, you know, when.
Yeah, so
Going on.
These practices date back
Was
to
that
the Mayans
enough?
who believed.
You want to watch the show?
yes, that's plenty. Chief, so what's up with
Yes.
all these superstitions around the solar eclipse? I mean, this year is the first time that I've heard so many different things. Like, you know, the one that Saw just showed on her video about the Native Americans and how they're saying that they, you know, that they can't be a part of that. But then, like, you know, part of my heritage is Choctaw. Their heritage, their concept is there to go out and just yell at the moon and at the solar eclipse and all of that. So it's just so many different pockets of races, ethnicity, and all of the different superstitions. What's up with that?
Oh, all right. That goes back to not knowing the unknown. That's what it goes back to. And some of it is superstition based on not knowing, ignorance. And then people don't question. And if it's handed down from parent to child, no one's going to question it without giving a reason. See, the issue is, okay, you're doing this, but what's the reason? Are there miscarriages? Or is there bad luck? Is a bad crop? Is going to be bad farming season? Is somebody going to get cursed? You understand what I mean? That
Yes.
You can't just say, oh, I get a lot of pregnant women that are concerned. Well, if there's a lot of pregnant women, why are they concerned? If their grandmother said, oh, that's not good, see if, you know, make sure you don't give birth on a solar eclipse, which would be a, if you will, call it an explosion of energy. And since that is not, you know, disclosed, then it's a matter of don't do this on a what do you call it, a solar eclipse. Don't do it without giving a logical explanation for why that's done. And that's out of fear, false evidence appearing real. And so being that your lineage is Choctaw, that again, what spiritual wisdom are they partaking? What are they disseminating? See, because most people, when they say they are indigenous, if they don't fit that mold of what indigenous looks like, then they don't feel that you can lay claim to that, even though it's part of your lineage and your DNA. And this is where it comes into us saying we have to clean up the filth made by the non-submitting fools. And one of the biggest superstitions is the fact that, yes, people who are copper colored, who are the original people found here, are the original indigenous people here. Just to give you a parallel.
Great answer. Okay, much appreciated.
Much appreciated.
All right, tell hat. Brow at on a Faye.
Greetings.
Greetings. I have your videos queued up, your 2 videos. On a Faye has 2 questions.
April 8th is the beginning of the end of the old world and the start of the new earth. This new earth is not so much of a physical place, although it shall be manifested in the physical plane through the spiritual. And, you know, people think about the solar eclipse and they want to go outside and put the little glasses on and eat popcorn or whatever, but this is actually a good time to remain inside, not only physically inside, but also spiritually inside of your heart. Because the shifts, the magnetic shifts are literally about to flip. Meaning that the magnetism of the sun, the electromagnetism of the sun is going to set off a lot of different energies as far as anything that was put in darkness shall come into light. So therefore, the systems that have been built upon lies, atrocities, genocide, deforestation, colonization, etc. are all going to be flipped upon its head. Whereas the new earth that we create through our heart space, through 5th dimensional consciousness, which we're going to see separated from 3rd dimensional consciousness, which is fear-based, into love-based living. So people, all spiritual warriors, starseeds, everybody on the earth is really called to elevate their frequency, tap into their highest purpose, and being grounded so we can create love.
So my question is, what is the significance of 4/8/2024?
4/8/2024 is an eclipse. The significance of it is what caused the eclipse. And I said this before the eclipse, I said that's Nibiru. And now we have a video, which I wanted played first, where the guy said, how could that be the moon when the moon's over here? And they're going into the eclipse. Something was in front of it. Wasn't the space station, because the space station is too small and it's not even outside of the dome. So that meant there was another object that came across, caused the eclipse, and then went on its way, because here's the moon. Yay, we got darkness. Now, Nibiru has crystals on the outside of the ship. So anyone who knows anything about crystals will know crystals amplify energy. The moon reflects the sunlight. Now, of course, with an eclipse, it'll block that energy, and whether you have a thin ring or completely covered, all that other energy is blocked out except for what's around the ring. So the significance of 4/8/2024 on the Gregorian calendar, otherwise known as the 78th year, 16th month, 2nd day on the Yamassic calendar, is this is the time where all the white autochthones came forward and put out their voice into the AKASHIC record, the Intergalactic Confederation that's watching us, the Neteru, the Annunaqi, and we stated our position of wanting those Luciferians, Draconians, reptilians, Satanists removed off the planet. We also were clear about we do not want them to babysit us, because that is a problem when you put someone who can assist you in the position of now babysitting. And that's what a lot of the other races from the different star systems, they want to help, but not to the point where now it's a ball and chain, I'm stuck to Earth. And as you're asking this question before we get to your second one, notice what this woman in this video, and I have a problem with a lot of people with their questions, they're stating stuff as if it's a fact. What has she presented in this video that is conclusively true, that can be verified? Because if I heard correctly, she's talked about third dimension to the fifth dimension. Did she say that?
Sure.
How are you going to skip over the fourth dimension? Then you got KRS-One talking about ninth dimension. I'm like, hold on, time out. Black has no standing at law on any dimension. So how are you going to go from the third dimension to the fifth dimension? And then people who have had encounters or have went to those dimensions and came back, what does it sound like? What did it look like? Can you describe? They said there's no words in our language to describe the amount of colors and how the colors were lively and vibrant. Say, I can't even convey that to you. Not a chance. There's no way I can't do it. So those are the issues I have when they're talking about that. And again, Black has no standing at law. How are you going to bring in a new world when Black people still think they're Black spiritually? So that's the significance. At-sik-hata Nation, you all will see. At-sik-hata Nation, all you Waitatoctans, you all are going to see the results of the chanting and the ritual that we did yesterday. It is going to accelerate who you all are. Nobody else out there, no Babalaos, no Ifa priestesses. I didn't see no rituals from nobody else. I didn't see no rituals from no conscious community. Didn't see no rituals from any of them. And one quick thing here before we go to your next question. Since the moon did not cause the solar eclipse because it was to the right, as you saw in the previous video, then that means all the people who stayed inside missed out on the positive energy coming from Nibiru. Just thought y'all might like to know that, because there was another video prior to where an Amorite woman stated the sun is not going to be in the position. The sun is over, and I went and got the star map and showed you all the planets: Sun, Mercury, then it was Saturn, then Mars were all lined up. So what was the planet if the sun is there? We know the answer.
Gratitude.
Gratitude. Your other question?
All right, a lot of people asking why the government is blocking out the sun like this, and I'm going to tell you why in this video. First of all, gazing directly at the sun can change your life in so many ways. Now, this is only safe 30 minutes after the rise and 30 minutes before the set. And if you pay attention, especially during the summer, it's usually the sunrise and the sunset when you see the most chemtrails. Now, the ancient Egyptians knew that sun gazing was an extremely powerful technique. As you can see here, when the sun rays reach the eyes of the ancient Egyptian god, it is presented with the Ankh. Now, the Ankh is the symbol of eternal life, and the sun is the giver of all life. Without it, we would not survive. Our crops would not grow. Now, sun gazing is proven to improve eyesight, reduce stress, enhance energy levels, and so many more health benefits. And the ancient Egyptians also knew that it upgrades our DNA. It is the ultimate healer. This is why you see the skies like this every single day. It's also funny how every single religious figure in our history all had the exact same story. Just like Jesus Christ, it's all based on the movement of the sun and the stars, the 12 disciples, the 12 constellations. You know, when they say the Son of God, yeah, they're referring to our sun, not a person. But I'll save all this for another video. This is exactly why the wisest people in our ancient past all worshiped the sun, because they knew the sun was a god. So on the days when the government's not blocking it out, make sure to sun gaze and sunbathe as much as you can. Peace and love. All right, a lot of people ask.
All right, so I'll ask, since we watched the other video, do you agree with what he's saying, and do you have other reasons that the sun is significant?
Specifically, what am I in agreement with?
That he's saying that people of the the olden days were worshiping the sun, that it's good to worship the sun. I mean, you kind of touched on it a little bit. Are you in
Yes.
agree-
Yes, the sun is life. If the sun were to blink, all life on this planet would end. That is the real God, not the God or the capital God or the capital Jesus or the Yahshua. All of those are symbols. That's what they are. And notice again, we have sun, heat, genes. So notice, we noticed this yesterday when we were looking at the sun, we could feel like the sun start to get even hotter. We felt a pulsation. Did anyone else, if anyone else felt that, please put that in the chat. We felt a pulsation coming from there, from the sun. So again, we are suns. We have a sun inside of us. This is what we have. So just like if you have a fire over here and you have a little ember here, if you take that fire and transfer it to the ember or a candle, that candle, what does it start to do when there's more heat? It starts to match and expand and gets bigger because there's more energy.
Oh, wait.
So it's not a bad thing. Let's keep something in mind. All of the symbolism that is happening with the Illuminati and all these different groups, that's all Egypt. That's all Tamaray. They keep scaring us. Oh, that's the all-seeing eye. Ooh, that's the Illuminati. No, that was the eye of Re, or depending on which way they put it, the eye of Hiru. So this is all the symbolism, all the pyramids. Oh, the Greeks, the Pythagoras theorem. I only have one question for the Greeks. Why are there no pyramids in Greece? They ain't found Zeus, but they found Osiris in Egypt. They found his sarcophagus. That was Art Bell and them that exposed that. They said, oh, they found the temple of the Egyptian god. You ain't seen nothing after they grabbed that body. Then I also heard they have Tehuti at a military base in Greenland. And they supposedly have 7 of the deities that they have went and they're saying may have cloned already or brought them back to life. So nothing is wrong in giving acknowledgement to the sun. The sun provides energy, the photosynthesis, everything. The God who's the old man on a throne up in the sky that nobody can see, that everyone's worshiping, he ain't done nothing for y'all. But the ray, every sunrise and sunset, that's why the old saying is that, I'm just saying rain as an example, but the sun rises and sets on the agreeable and the disagreeable.
Gratitude.
Gratitude.
Yes, gratitude on the fact. And before we go with Dapper last, just everyone in the comments is agreeing that they felt the pulsating energy of the sun, as well as myself when I first had told you, Chief. Oh, it's happening. I feel like a pulsing sensation here. It's like a flashing or something.
And notice, we had the pyramid of fire during a solar eclipse where the Homa will send out the energy. So as we were doing the chanting and I was putting the ghee on the pyramid for those that were on live or those who've watched the replay, you will see that we are like the small fire, but what's going to happen with the small fire? It's going to elevate to match the frequency of the larger sun. Does everyone get that?
Sure. All right. It's so much appreciated again, Onafe.
Much appreciated for that question. And yes, Ankh is the key. This is the life right here.
Beautiful. Rawadadapa, have your video queued up. Rawat to Shabiki as well.
Bruh.
Look, there's something flying through the air. What the fuck was that? What the fuck was that?
Yo, what the fuck?
Aliens!
Yo.
Let me replay that.
Bruh.
Look, there's something flying through the air. What the fuck was that? What the fuck was that?
Yo, what the fuck?
Aliens!
Yo.
One more time.
Bruh.
Look, there's something flying through the air.
I saw more that time than before.
What the fuck was that?
Yo, what the fuck?
Aliens!
Yo.
Did everyone see that? It starts here.
You have to move it back real quick because at first I thought it was an airplane. And then I said, oh, okay, yeah. And then I said, oh, yeah, it's moving real fast now. That's not an airplane. It's moving too fast.
Look, there's something flying through the air.
So that was this. That was basically 3 seconds.
Bruh.
Look, there's something flying through the air. What the fuck was that? What the fuck was that?
Yo, what the fuck?
Aliens!
Yo.
White Adapa.
Rawa Chief.
Rawa.
Simple. Is this a sign?
Yes.
Rawa.
No.
Oh, okay. I thought that's everything for you, Adapa, correct?
Tua.
All right. Yeah, Neteru had sent a video. I thought he would be here. But this looked really interesting. I just want to play this one. This is the one that he had to offer.
For all of you non-believers that told me I didn't know what I was talking about, you be sure to stick around for this one. Remember when I told you this? In the April 8th eclipse, you're going to see the moon and the sun both in the sky at the same time. The only thing about this is you're going to know for a fact that it is not the moon that is covering the sun. And
make
during
that
the
bigger?
full eclipse, this happened.
If the eclipse is right here,
Yeah.
then why is the moon over there?
Oh, wait.
What?
How does that happen?
Because we're in the middle.
But look, the moon is right there in front of the sun.
Wait.
But the moon is over here. Why is the moon right there if it's supposed to be in front of the sun? Here, I'm using these right here.
That's insane.
Do you see that? If the moon is right there in front of the sun, then why is it over there?
I'm gonna Google that.
How do you feel now? I told you that you would look up and you would see the sun in one place and the moon in another during the eclipse to clearly show you that everything that they have taught you was a lie. All of the scientists that you put before people like myself, bullshit. Everything that they thought they learned, bullshit. Right now, science in itself about the solar system, bullshit.
Yes, and I think he had a question. Let's see, to go along with that. Oh, so what eclipsed the sun?
Nibiru. That's why we were outside. When you have, oh, the sun's not going to be in the position they're saying it's going to be, the moon's over here. Okay, the sun's there, the moon is clearly there. What's in front of it since the moon is off to the right? That was Nibiru. How come you're not hearing about, notice you're not hearing about Nibiru anymore?
Right.
You heard about Nibiru around 1999, Then around 2005, 2007, then you started hearing of Nibiru a little bit more. Now you don't hear nothing about Nibiru yet. We know, because it has been admitted to when I did the weekly address around 2014, that all the Pentagon is talking about is Nibiru. And they said the return of the quote unquote black gods are returning. That's all they're talking about at the Pentagon. So if they're talking about that back then, and here we are 2024, why are they concerned about the 2030 agenda? The 2030 agenda? Because this is what I put on the paper. When I do these things, I put stuff in here. Y'all have to be paying attention. On the first page, if you look at the Holy Tablets, chapter 6, tablet 2, verse 67. Let me just pull it out here so we have this on record. So chapter 6, tablet 2, verse 67. When the alignment of the great vortex will open again in the lunar logging of the year 1993 in the Gregorian calendar, and then in 2003 AD, when Nibiru will arrive for the 144,000. It will depart in 2030 AD of the great vortex, and it will open in 2043. And we, the Annunaqi, will depart forever. So I gave y'all the sign there on that page, on the first page. It's right there.
Oh, to hear depart forever. That's what I'm stuck on. Like there. Oh my
Listen, at a
goodness.
certain point, what was created is no longer what it is. And that's why I said I don't see there being a big fight, especially when a Satanist in Montreal, their video is on YouTube. I need to find that and put it on our channel. And he talked about there's not going to be no great big Armageddon, no big fight. He said, nah, all it is just the people that are agreeable, they'll come take their people and leave. And then we'll be with our father, the devil. Now, that's what a Satanist is saying. Holy Tablet says, do you want to be here in the hereafter? Here after the rapture of the disagreeable. And the disagreeable people are tricked and taken from here, never to return again. That's why the ones chosen will go aboard the mothership and be taught directly by Sananda. And then they will, for 1,000 years, which you call a day, and then they will come back and fix the planet. So we're in excellent position.
Yes. Yes, indeed. Towelhead Chief. We're gonna have James's question last, actually, and I just want to note some chat entries. Onafes said that it reached 80 degrees today, up from 42 degrees. And Sasha said that during the eclipse, their temperature went from 80 to 62 degrees within minutes.
So imagine if the sun blinks.
Yes.
For 1 second and you get none of those rays.
Cold as ice. Okay.
Do you guys see the same?
Let me share my screen. Row at James.
Greetings, Saw. Greetings, Chief. Greetings, White Word.
Greetings.
Now, you did see the Devil's Comment yesterday, didn't you? Any of you guys get a chance to see the Devil's Comment? Check this out.
I know where shit going on, bud. Yeah, you saw that shit now. I tried to tell you. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah. That might be the Devil's Comment. They got something called the Devil's Comment. Look that way. There's smoke out there. See that on her? Hey, is that one of them rockets? I don't know.
So, for all of you who said nothing happened, I have just provided two interesting videos for you to look at. The one I just posted right here, this one, and the one right before it. If you do not know what I'm talking about, the other video will be in the comment section, not the comment, in the description of this video. And that was some type of dragon flying past the eclipse. Well, if you don't believe it, watch the video in the description. But this one is just the Devil's Comment, since nothing happened. Have a wonderful day. Now, you did see the Devil's Comment yesterday, didn't you? Any of you guys get a chance to see the Devil's Comment? Check this out.
I know where shit going on, bud.
I want to know what that is.
Yeah, you saw that shit now. I tried to tell you. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah. That might be the Devil's Comment. They got something called the Devil's Comment.
Okay, James.
Yeah, I just want to know what the Devil's Comet is. I've never even heard of that, and just seemed interesting. I don't know if this connects with that other video with the whatever it was flying through the sky. If maybe that was the Devil's Comet, I'm not sure, but
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. Earth.com, Comet 12P Pons Brooks, also known as the Devil Comet and the Mother of Dragons Comet, is currently visible in the night skies of the Northern Hemisphere, providing a unique spectacle for both amateur stargazers and professional astronomers. This Halley, like Halley's comet, this Halley-type comet, which orbits the sun every 71 years and has a nucleus about 30 kilometers in diameter, is known for its impressive outbursts of gas and dust during its voyages through the inner solar system. The comet is known as the Devil Comet due to its distinct horned appearance. However, a more contemporary cultural nod has been given to its connection with the Kappa Draconids, a relatively modest annual meteor shower active from late November into December. Similar to other comets, the Devil's Comet is composed of a mixture of ice, dust, and rocky material. As it approaches the sun, the comet undergoes a transformation with the ice within transitioning from solid to gas. This process propels gas and dust from the comet's surface and forms an expansive cloud and a distinctive tail. This tail, shaped and driven by solar winds, serves as a visible marker of the comet's path through space. And they said the Devil's Comet is most visible in late March and early April, situated above the western horizon in the post-dusk hours. The comet's visibility is subject to its activity level and proximity to Earth.
wow.
I'm gonna put that in the chat. Saw, I want you to play that video again.
Oh boy.
There's also, like, I think the moon beside
That's
Like it
what
was,
I
it
was
went
getting
really
to.
quick, but
Which video, Chief?
The same one that the same video here.
Okay, I'll start at the
Yeah,
beginning.
just go back and then watch. Keep your
Now you did see the
mouse
devil's
there.
comment yesterday, didn't
Yeah.
you? Any of you guys get a chance to see the devil's comment? Check this out.
All kinds of weird shit going on, man.
Okay, so that's for the eclipse. Stop it.
right there.
Yeah, back it up.
Is the
Okay, now make your screen. Is your screen big? Screenshot that. So we got us a problem here because clearly to the right, that's the moon. Am I seeing that right?
It looks like the
Yeah.
moon. That's what I was looking at.
So
That's-
what's going on? It sounds because what it's looking like, and is there something behind the moon like a thin crescent to the left there? No, move your cursor to the right. Go to the moon.
What are you calling the moon?
Up. Right there. That's the moon.
That's a cloud, it looks like.
It's a cloud.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, play it.
Yeah, you saw that shit now. I tried to tell you. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Wow, looked like it because that was like the other video. Here's the devil's comment.
Yeah, this is the devil's comet, and it has a little darkness, like almost like a fire is bringing this dark smoke with it. And that could be what was going through the other video you were mentioning, where people are like, whoa, what was that? What the F was that? What the F was that? That could have been that in that video.
Yeah.
Could have been the devil's comment in that video. But I just was like, what was that other bright spot over there? So there's a lot happening in the sky yesterday. Nobody's
Yes,
talking
a
about.
lot.
Check this
I
out.
couldn't see anything.
Is this just a star out in daytime? That doesn't usually happen.
Hard to say. Not would have to zoom in to see what that is.
I think
Unless that's the space station.
Mhm. With the naked eye, wow.
It's the second brightest object in the sky after Sirius, after
The
Septet.
space station?
Yep.
Okay.
This said that was Venus.
That was Venus? All right.
All interesting. Very much so. James, you have any other questions for this video?
No, not for this video.
Okay. Well, we're making good time on our interview with Chief on this series here. We've got some exciting questions in and some much appreciated detailed answers. And thank you everyone for putting your comments in the chat as well, and Chief for the links you provided us for further knowledge. Chief, do you have any other questions or comments, but any comments?
Well, I posed my question earlier. Again, the only thing I would say is this. We're going to find out in the next few days or in the next couple of months whether there is a positive effect with the eclipse, now that it's been confirmed that that wasn't the moon in front. When you have crystals amplify sound, they amplify energy. So whatever's on the sun that's amplified, and wasn't it the day yesterday is when what's his name, Puff Daddy was supposed to be outing people, and I haven't heard anything. So the other video talking about the scientists and it's all bullshit. Yeah, where's Neil deGrasse Tyson? Where's Phil Nye, the science guy? How? That's why I said it's quiet. Why are all the major scientists, physicists. I haven't heard anything what happened with CERN. If they got the God particle, didn't hear anything from NASA. What happened with NASA? I was looking up to see if we could see them firing the rockets. So I have a feeling that they never fired them, and we're going to check the news to see today if they did fire the rockets. I haven't seen no videos, nothing on social network of any. Oh yeah, here comes the rockets.
Right.
Unless that were the, well, those are still too low during the eclipse. Unless those were the rockets from NASA. So that's not true, because the rockets won't breach the dome that this planet is under quarantine. So
I seen something.
Go ahead,
Yes,
James.
I seen something a couple of days ago, or just like might have been the day before the eclipse, that they were, because I was looking at the video that I was supposed to do last week about CERN, and there was like some things about it being canceled, like they weren't gonna start up the Hadron
What?
Collider, and then some things about the NASA canceling their rockets.
When did you see that?
Yeah.
I didn't look too far into it because I was at work at the time, but
Hold on, we could do that. So
I'm
NASA,
Googling it now.
you darn right. NASA cancels was it APEP rockets? Let's see if what comes up. NASA to launch 3 sounding rockets. They said NASA successfully launches, okay, a day ago, but I haven't. Where's the footage? Here, I'll put this in the chat. This is what I'm seeing here.
CBS News a day ago.
Wavy.com. I don't know who they are. They're high up in the search. Yeah, NASA successfully launches 3 sounding rockets from I'm not buying that bull. From Wallops Island in Virginia. Let me see if it says live. So let me see, because you know how they fake landed on the moon. Oh, come on now. Are they serious?
Let's see. Mission accomplished. NASA successfully launched 3 Black Brant 9 sounding rockets from its Wallops flight facility as part of the atmospheric perturbations around the eclipse path mission, which is what APEP stands for. The launch window was scheduled between 2:40 p.m. and 4:05 p.m. The first rocket was launched 45 minutes before the total solar eclipse. The second took off at 3:20 during the eclipse, and the third and final rocket launched at 4:28 p.m. So there is some footage here. Oh, is this 2 hours?
Yeah, that's what I'm looking at. And this whole thing is sketchy to me.
It's been hushy.
I don't believe this. I believe this is all.
Can you put it on the screen,
There's
sir?
a countdown.
And yes, of course, we have other people in the room here.
Yes, Chief too.
Because I'm seeing the rockets here.
Welcome. Thanks for joining us for the APEP launches from Wallops Flight Facility here in Virginia. As you may have just heard, we have just entered the terminal count. We've completed station checks with the range team, the test director, the PI, Sounding Rockets office here at Wallops in preparation for our APEP mission, the atmospheric perturbations around the eclipse path here at NASA's Wallops Flight Facility. As you know, many people across the United States from Texas to Maine will be treated to a stunning astronomical event, a total solar eclipse today, very soon. the moon will cross in front of the sun and block the light from our star, darkening the sun to our range control, audio, and all the folks that are participating in the launch today. We'd like to welcome
LC ROA.
Go for LC.
MRL launcher, final wind weighted settings are azimuth 100.
And if you're just joining us, we just passed 3 minutes and counting for our first rocket launch today from Wallops.
3, 2, 1, mark, T0.
And our first APEP rocket has left the rail. Let's listen in.
I'm not trusting this. There's supposed to be more fanfare for something like this. Look at this. Look at Skeleton Crew. Look at this.
Yeah.
Plus 30.
Here's now a look inside our RCC.
And remember what they say, the rockets always bend. Once they get into the upper atmosphere, they curl.
Our PI, Dr. Brajati, is also in the room.
Dakota, I see
now
you here.
observing
I'll
the
get
data
to your
on
question too.
Screens in front of them.
50.
As we have launched.
On April 8th, 2024, portions of the United States will get to enjoy the sight of a total solar eclipse. The last time this took place was back in August of 2017, so this is a good time to refresh our memory as to what's going to happen, why it occurs, and let you know where you can watch the show in the sky. A solar eclipse occurs when the moon moves between the Earth and the sun, blocks the sun's light, and casts a shadow on the Earth. When the moon completely covers the bright disk of the sun, that's a total solar eclipse. This differs from a lunar eclipse, where the moon moves behind the Earth, so it's now the Earth blocking the sun's light on the moon, creating a shadow on it with a red tint. To remember the difference, just remember what object gets darker. With a solar eclipse, it's the sun, and during a lunar eclipse, it's the moon. Because the moon's shadow is relatively small, a total solar eclipse is a pretty rare event to see. In order to do so, you have to be on the sunny side of the planet and within the path of the moon's shadow. And that path is affected by the Earth's rotation, moon's orbit, and where they are in their orbit around the sun. There are a lot of moving parts that go into creating this incredible sight. And speaking of parts, during a solar eclipse, the moon is actually casting a shadow consisting of two parts, the umbra and penumbra. The moon's umbra is the part of the moon's shadow where the entire sun is blocked by the moon. In space, it's a cone extending about 232,000 miles behind the moon. It's when the small end of this cone hits the Earth that a total solar eclipse can be seen. Those factors are why only a limited number of locations on Earth get to actually see it. So, if you find your area in the path of totality this year, treasure the sight, because on average, that same spot on Earth won't see another total solar eclipse for 375 years. The area around Carbondale, Illinois, however, has hit the cosmic jackpot, getting to experience this year's eclipse, as well as the one from 2017. But their next view of a total solar eclipse won't happen until the year 2343. When you check out an eclipse map that depicts the path of totality, keep this in mind. While many maps will show a circle representing the moon's shadow, the true shape of the umbra is more like an irregular polygon with slightly curved edges. This is due to the fact that the moon isn't a smooth sphere. It has mountains, valleys, and craters on its surface, all of which affect the passing sunlight and shape of the resulting shadow. NASA's Lunar Reconnaissance Orbiter spacecraft, which has been orbiting the moon since 2009, has provided scientists with incredibly detailed photographs, terrain maps, and other sets of data that have allowed us to better understand the shape of the moon's surface.
Chief, you let me know if there's anything I need to edit out or fast forward. Okay. Keep going.
No, I'm done. I'm done with that.
Okay. All right. Dakota has his hand up.
Greetings, all.
Right. Greetings.
Keep got one question. Well, I got a statement and a question. Statement is, Wallops Island, not too far from where I live, and I have seen one rocket my whole life. every time I turn channel, wavy is channel 10 around here, and I go outside and look on the beach to be able to see the rockets. And I never see it. They do night launches and everything, and I see it on the news, but I won't see it myself. So I think something's weird going on that. And my question is, I always question the eclipse because I seen the moon in the day and it gives like a whitish gray look. I didn't see that move in front of the moon in front of the sun yesterday. So all these eclipses we've seen prior to this year, what do you think was moving in front of the sun?
Nibiru?
The whole time?
Hey, we saw the video. We saw the video, the facts. If you didn't see it, the moon is off to the right during the eclipse. So if the moon is there clearly seen during the eclipse, the sunlight bouncing off the face of the moon that we could see in the sky during the daytime, that's another body that was in front of the sun, and the only one that could be is Nibiru.
Been here a long time.
Yes. Kashikadur.
Chief, this reminds me of a video I had just seen recently here. Let me share screen again. From what we had
years ago, when right eclipse that took place 7 years ago, went right across America. There's another eclipse coming right across America. It'll make a perfect cross on the center of the nation.
God made the first sign go through 7 cities named Salem on August 21st, 2017.
The word Salem, according to the Bible, is peace. So God is saying 7 times he offered peace. The next eclipse is coming. It goes through several cities here, particularly Nineveh. So first we have 7 cities called Salem, and now 7 cities called Nineveh. 7 and 7. 7 cities called Salem, 7 cities called Nineveh, and 7 years apart. Right in the center of the cross is a city called Rapture. What is God's message? He's coming very, very soon.
Without the biblical connotation to it, the pale supremacy, is there anything that can be said of the Salem cities, the Nineveh cities, the cross point of rapture?
I just find it interesting that all those cities were Salem, all those cities were Nineveh, and Nineveh, that was the city that Jonah was supposed to go through, and he was made a prophet and he refused and tried to run from the Most High. So the Most High had him swallow, Most High had a giant whale swallow him, and he stayed in the whale's belly for 3 days. And then when Jonah repented, the whale spat him out at Nineveh. And then that's when Jonah carried on and did his priesthood and had to go convert the men, and told them, and the men were marrying women from a different tribe / nation, and he was telling them to stop that. And they actually listened to Jonah, because he didn't think, oh, they're not going to listen to me, so what for? But they did. It makes me think that, and that gets into a real wild thought that astronomers may have laid out those cities based on the constellations, because that's beyond a coincidence that every spot is, and it's all, remember, though, that's a straight line for the eclipse in that area of totality. So first you have Salem, then you have Nineveh. So while you were playing that video, I was looking to see when's the next lunar eclipse, and the next lunar eclipse will be March 14th, 2025, and will be visible in North America. I'll put that in the chat for everybody.
And Sashay has a comment. She's got her hand up.
Yes, go right ahead.
Greetings again, and I apologize, my camera's not working. I got off my phone, but I just wanted to bring to light, there's this show on BYU TV, and it's called Theodosia, and they had an episode, and it was just brought to my attention probably about like a week ago, and it's about this teenage people who are into ancient Egyptian history, magic, all of those things. And they talked about APEP on that show. And they were trying to magically harness the energy and trying to find the Eye of Horus. And it was interesting to me that when, yes, the spirits and evil stuff that was going on, and they were talking about APEP, and then how NASA came out with the name APEP, and they were supposed to shoot up rockets to the sky in the eclipse. They actually showed some of this on that show, and they showed that, you know, they were secretly walking around and meeting with each other, trying to talk about how they were going to capture this magic and capture the Eye of Horus. And then the lady put down the newspaper, and then they honed in on that newspaper, and it had the eclipse on it. So it was just interesting to me that NASA would name that APEP.
Yes, they're into all of that. It all comes back to Egypt. It all comes back to Egypt. It doesn't matter what they can try to fool themselves, but it all comes back to Egypt. And that's what they want to keep you away from. Egypt, Tamaray.
And so this relates to what you put into the chat. Sasha, you want to speak your chat entry?
Oh, yes. Same concept there. And Egypt, APEP was the name of an ancient Egypt spirit of evil, darkness, and destruction. And as the arch enemy of the sun god Ra, here we are again with this eclipse thing. He was a malevolent force who could never be entirely vanquished. Every night as the sun traveled through the underworld for across the sky, his roar would fill the air, and he would launch his attack, APEP. So that made me think that they were trying to, you know, cover up what they actually were trying, NASA was actually trying to do. It was just kind of parallel to me to see that.
Well, yeah, that's amazing. So again, why would they, here again, this is what we talk about, exposing facts, you know, revealing facts, exposing the falsehood, exposing facts. Why would people who consider themselves Christian in their religiousness choose an Egyptian acronym which puts them into contradiction with the Old Testament, where it says you're not supposed to be idol worshipers? And name the project, the rocket, the material, the movable or the immovable item after an Egyptian. Why don't you call it? Why didn't they call it something disagreeable? Call it Cain. Why didn't they call the rocket Cain? Why didn't they call the rocket Lucifer? No, they called that APEP. So that tells you they are studying Tamaray in these lodges, these shrines, some of these fraternities, and these organizations privately. But publicly, when they come out, they'll tell you in a heartbeat they're a Christian, but then you're going to name a rocket. NASA is a Hebrew word, as they call it. Why would you name your organization? You notice you ain't heard no rocket called Jesus. You ain't heard no spaceship called Abraham.
Right. Not even some of their other stuff. Why don't they call it Alexander the Great?
They don't call the space shuttle David
Right.
or Moses.
Mm-hmm.
No, they call that APEP, or they'll take it from ancient Egypt. What I'm trying to do is I'm looking at March 14th. It is a blood moon. So I want to get the map of the cities, and I'll put that in the chat for everybody. 25. It's a lunar eclipse, which will also be a blood moon. Because I know where the range it's going. I'm just trying to get the cities. And then I could give it to everybody.
Oh boy. Just want to mention here, Chief, while you're looking at that X-Man was booted off, and he sent a video of what's happening on his end.
Play it.
Visible in North America. 45 minutes.
Though that's a straight line for the eclipse in that area of totality.
Screen
First you have Salem, then you
froze.
have Nineveh.
Compromise.
So while you were playing that video,
While on Zoom with the
I was
white
looking
one.
to see when's the next lunar eclipse.
Khashuk doing nothing move. It's been froze for about
2025 and will be visible in North America.
45 minutes.
I'll put that in the chat for everybody.
So
That's a straight line.
the audio's going, but the images are still.
Oh, they're not in line.
Yeah, the screens are frozen, the images are frozen, but the audio is picking up. Yep. So appreciate the video. Tell him.
Yes, we'll have this recorded here, and if they put the title of the video from yesterday into Google, we got some good numbers. Now it looked like they knocked it down. So the highest number that I've seen currently is if you put in solar eclipse ritual to stop CERN, NASA, and APEP, we come up number 2 for under Wired, and we were just over Rolling Stone. So we're in the second position if you check that. So we're in the top 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, we're in the top 3, and then we have another one in the top 10.
Always top 3. Okay. Yes. Yeah, I agree that, where's Neil deGrasse? You were asking about that. Where's any of these science guys? It's all starting to be apparent that all of these so-called professionals and elite thinkers are bought and paid for. Even doctors, people realize that they're basically a whore for the pharmaceutical companies. The lawyers are sick and disgusted by the work that they do. The lead attorney let out a lot of insight on how unhappy lawyers are. And, teachers have been underpaid, underserved, under everything. And now they have the most unscrupulous teachers and principals in most schools. They're inviting Sexy Red and different low level people, Krishan Rock and all of that, to the schools to speak to the students as if they have anything to offer. Sexy Red had showed up at a school smelling like weed, and they did refuse to allow her to speak, and instead she stayed out in the parking lot, and people were recording her through the opening of her limousine. Like, what is the message the school is sending about, these people to bring around the students? So clearly they're compromised. So all of these professions that are supposed to be about great minds are just proving to be under some kind of pre-existing contract of destroying humanity, and however their contractor sees fit. And so for the astrophysicist community now to be, people are saying, like, when the whole flat earth thing came out, it's like, well, what have we been taught? What are we really learning? And, what is what in the universe? And it's a lot. Well, everything's a lie.
Yep. So I put the link in for March 14th in the chat there. And so when you go, you'll see the whole map of North America for the lunar eclipse, which will be a blood moon. So it's going to be really, really powerful.
So March 5th, March 14th, 2025.
25, yep. Every North America, South America, even West Africa will be able to see it. London, yeah, they'll be able to see it in London. Copenhagen, Denmark, well, they get a partial. So that's the next one. And then, of course, we have the annual eclipse that'll be coming up in the next 4 or 5 months. Yeah, if you scroll down, there should be a map there. No, go back up to the top. I think you passed it.
I changed the map to a 3D view from the
Yeah, if you click on the, yeah, there it is. That's the one.
Yes, I did. This was showing for a little while before I switched to 3D.
Tower hat.
Mm-hmm.
So everyone in North America will be able to see it. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens then. All right, so I'm good for now.
Yes, much appreciated, Chief. Much appreciated, everyone. With your
X-Man's back.
Yes, yes. Let's see if your audio is working at the same time. Okay.
Turn his mic on. So how
Yes.
long he was out for what? 40 minutes?
Uh-oh, you're unmuted, but we don't hear you.
That's it. Can't hear you.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, they're mad.
Yeah.
Oh, last thing I want to say before I relax. That was very tough day. Not in a bad way, but it was a sense of urgency. And yeah, spirituality can definitely have an effect on you physically. So Holy Tablets, chapter 3, El Mustawatiya, which is the scientist chapter. Chapter 3, tablet 3, verse 208. Oh, now we're going to start at 206. Oh, we got to start at we got to start at 200. Pardon me. We got to start at verse 200. When the crystal city will come down out of heaven, prepared for the 144,000 who will be raptured. 201. The others who do not heed these facts will be committed to the lake of fire or the pit of hell. His soul will never die there, yet his body does not live there. Verse 203. Indeed, those who purify themselves by realignment will succeed, and they will board the crystal city where they will be taught, and then they will come forth prepared as King of Kings and Lords of Lords, called rulers of those who rule now, and masters of those who teach now. 204. The first studying will be under Tammuz, who will then be known as Witch Sananda. Many simply say Christ. 205, their Savior, who is the real Messiah for 1,000 years or 1 day. 206, then to return to this planet Kai to save many others who will listen and remember the name Anu of your Al-Rab, sustainer, and seek to realign themselves. Or do you prefer the life on this planet? Your kingdom come on earth as it is in Orion. For the great day of the rapture will come for those aligned, where they will be taken aboard the great craft, there to be taught by Sananda or Tammuz for the period of 1 day, which could be 1,000 years. Then to return as the teachers of the survivors. This will be preceded by the 7 great thunders, which are the signs of the times. Although the state of this planet after the old heavens and the old earth is taken away, and a new sky and the new earth is born. 208, do you want to be hereafter, or as they say, in the hereafter? Hereafter, the rapture of the disagreeable. Religious people are tricked and taken from here, never to return. Chashikadur, chashikadur, chashikadur. White power, white power, white power.